Introduce our visiting guest. What a great conference we've had. What a positive morning we've had of information. We stayed on track. We concentrated the information that was presented to the Lions in attendance. What a great morning. And we thank our Governor, Marty, and Bill Cahill, who is not here today, and Clark and Jim, who worked so hard to put this conference together. But one of the great contributors this morning was our visiting international director, Jerome Thompson. He did a tremendous presentation during the first session this morning, very positive, very upbeat. And you know, this gentleman is so easy to be around. He just, he is comfortable. He makes us comfortable to be around him. He is comfortable being around us. The kind of folks that we like to have at E&F, we really do. You can see most of the information about him in your program. His bio is printed there. And, you know, this good lion, as it notes right at the very bottom, he has two sons. And interestingly enough, both sons are in the ministry in some way, shape, or form. And that kind of tells us a little bit about the kind of person that we have. Because, you know, they say the acorn doesn't fall too far from the tree. So I suspect that that's the case here. As a matter of fact, I firmly believe that's the case here. He now serves, in addition to his role on the membership committee. President Corlew asked him to be a part of the North American Task Force on Membership, concentrating on North America and what is needed here to improve our situation in membership. And again, if you were in the session this morning, you heard how positive he is, how important membership is to him. Again, just looking at the person and who he is. Of course, you see in his bio that he is an attorney at law. And in talking with him, we know that he's from a rural community, and close-knit rural community. People know each other. They're familiar with outside of their practices and outside of their jobs and their vocation. But one of the things that we were talking about over coffee was that folks, when they get ready to go to see him, it's not, I need to go see my attorney. It's, I want to go talk to Jerome. I want to go have a discussion with somebody that I have confidence in. Somebody that I can relate to as a person. I think the Lions of E&F can relate to him as a person. It's my great privilege to introduce to you International Director from Alabama, Jerome Thompson.
Thank you, Richard. If my mother were here, she would be so proud. Did someone get that on tape? I need to take it back to her. Listen, I am from a small community of about 3,500 there in central north Alabama. Huntsville's a big city, but it's about 35, 40-minute drive away. And Decatur, about a 15-minute drive for a town of 60,000. But you get to my county of 35,000, in my little town where I practice law of 3,500, I can relate to the things that are said here. And your council chair was so kind to share with me some information about your district, E&F, and y'all are doing a fantastic job of recruiting Lions because of the limited population that you have. I think 1 out of 450 people in E&F are Lions. That's fantastic. Now we got to get down to 1 out of 300. No. Listen, we do have new mountains to climb. And on behalf of our international president, Bob Corlew, on behalf of the international director, our directors, the board, our vice presidents, our executive officers, I bring greetings to each and every one of you. We're fortunate to have a proud history here in Virginia with 4 directors here. Director Wild, Director Miller, Director Richard, and then you've got Wayne Davis, who had the tragedy and loss of his wife recently, and our hearts just go out to him. We have mountains to climb. You have to understand that we sit here today real comfortable. We've had a good meal. We all woke up this morning with fairly good health. We have great fellowship. But when our President Corlew talks about new mountains to climb, I get this vision of these mountains that have snow caps on them, sort of like the Rockies. You know, we live at the foothills of the Appalachians too, but you always want to think about bigger and better mountains. And so those snow-capped mountains, and there's just an avalanche of needs on the top of those mountains. You see, while we're sitting comfortably here, on this mountain over here, there's 7 million adults in the United States who are visually impaired. They're crying for help, and we, the Lions, can scale those mountains and provide resources to them and help them with their path. There's another mountain over here that really disturbs me. This mountain has 40 million adults and children. And there's 8 million people on this mountain that don't even know why they're there, because they've not been diagnosed yet with diabetes. And we, the Lions, can provide the services necessary for them to get the education and the resources and the training that they need to live a full and enjoyable life, if we just will. You see, there's this other mountain over here. And this just has children, 18 and younger, 1.7 million of them homeless at least one night last year. 1.7 children homeless at least one night. And of them, 500,000, 500,000 homeless for more than a week. And we, the Lions, have got to step up and do something to rescue these people that are in the avalanche of needs. See, there's another mountain over there. 20 million children under the age of 18 living in single-parent homes, most of them at or beneath the poverty level. And we, the Lions, can provide mentoring to these children. We can provide school supplies. We can provide Christmas presents. We can work with organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we can have a positive impact on those children, if we just will. And you see, there's that other Mount Hungry over there. 48 million people in the United States and Canada last night went to bed not knowing where their next meal is coming from. And in a country as rich as the United States of America, no one should have to worry about their next meal. And I suspect in your district, ENF, it's just like in my district back in Alabama. But for free breakfast and free lunch, we would have children that would qualify to be on the commercials with the folks from third world countries with the bellies stuck out talking about how hungry they are. That concerns me. As your international director, I want us to do better. I want us to scale those new mountains. And let me talk with you about one last mountain. You see, as the sun comes up over this mountain, the snow is there, and then you begin to look at it, and it sort of has this yellowish green haze in the snow. That's where 70 million computers have been put in landfills. in the United States alone, leaking hazardous chemicals into our underground water system, adversely affecting our health, the health of our children and our grandchildren. And we, the Lions, must begin to do something about cleaning up our environment, recycling our electronics, and making sure that our children and our grandchildren have a safe place to live. Do you agree? Yes. And we can do that. We just have to dream bigger dreams. And then begin to go out and do something about those dreams. Set those goals and move forward. You see, as we move Lions Clubs International forward, we served 100 million people around the world in about 18 months. And that's with about half of our clubs reporting what they've done. Had we been able to get everyone to report what they were doing, we probably would have reached that goal in 9 months, 100,000. I believe that if we'll get serious about reporting, if we'll get serious about serving, if we'll do better than we've done in the first century as we move into the second century, that we can serve 200 million people per year. 200 million people per year. We can do it. And what it's going to take around the world is every club setting a goal of serving 4,000 people per year. And we have so many state projects that aren't even being reported. And I don't know about your Hourglass Recycling Center, but I heard that they're serving nearly 100,000 people by sending glasses out every year. Are we capturing those 100,000? Are we reporting those 100,000? Are we able to make sure that the Lions of Virginia are getting all the credit that they should get for the service we're providing? I don't know that answer. Y'all know that answer. If not, let's find a way to report them. Because I know in Alabama, we have some diabetic camps. And I asked the director, I said, are these children we're serving being reported? And she says, I don't think so. And so we had to come up with a way to report back to the clubs that was sponsoring the children and remind them to report them. And we saw our numbers go up just simply because state projects that weren't tied to a particular club were not being reported. I think we can do it. 200 million. We also need every club to begin to schedule quarterly a way to have a service project that involves getting our hands dirty. Keep writing your checks. That's fine. We like your money. We've never turned down money. But we want your time. We want your emotional commitment. We want your compassion, and we want to share that with your community by serving in meaningful ways. And every club having that signature project that you're known for. So when somebody says the Lions Club is in this town, they say, oh yeah, they screen all the eyes and all the vision for our students. Oh yeah, they're the ones that send 15 students to a leadership camp. Oh, the Lions Club. They put on the programs about eating with diabetes. We need to be known for something in every community and establish ourselves as the go-to organization. If there's a problem in our town, the Lions Club can solve it, because where there's a need, there's a lion. And really, wouldn't it be nice to be able to say where there's a need, there's a Lions Club? You know, our motto, we serve, adopted in 1954, and it's almost, we begin to say it without it really meaning anything to us. We've got to begin to live our mottos. We serve. Where there's a need, there's a lion, or where there's a need, there's a Lions Club, and go out and start some clubs. Just serve one. Just invite one. Just lead one. And then we go back to original liberty, intelligence, our nation's safety. And look on your television in the last 60 days. The Lions Club must once again begin to promote world peace in a way that has never been done before. And if we're not careful here in the United States, and this is not a political statement, in the United States, we're going to have to promote peace within our own communities. We've got to rise up and be better than our government, better than our police officers, better than all the other factions that are out there, and we've got to pull them together in ways to improve the quality of life for everyone. And if we're not doing that, we're not serving our communities. You know, Lions in our neighborhood schools, and I heard that today as we've talked about the community needs assessment. There's no reason that our Lions should not be the foster grandparents for every kindergarten student in our 2 districts. Lions in our neighborhood schools. Of course, one of our past presidents, loving individuals offering needed services. Whatever motto that you and your club want to adopt, do it your way. You know what I found out right after I got on the board? And I think that the past directors will agree with me. I went to the board thinking, oh, we're going to reform this association. Everything's going to be great. You sit at the board meeting, and no matter what idea comes up, you're trying to figure out what to do and how it applies to 46,000 clubs with a bunch of cultures, with a bunch of languages, with a lot of different attitudes. All Lions Clubs International can do is serve vanilla ice cream. That's all we can do. We put out vanilla mush sometimes. But vanilla ice cream, it's got to be flavored in your community in a way that you like it, and therefore your club your way, your district your way, you do it your way as long as you do it. And we will give some guidance. We'll set some policies and procedures, and we'll deliver the best. It's not Bluebell, but we'll deliver the best vanilla ice cream available. Because after we serve, then we've got to understand that we've got to invite for impact. The biggest hindrance we have for not scaling these mountains and solving all of these problems that we talked about is we don't have enough hands. And when you ask someone, why didn't you join the Lions Club? No one ever asked me. Have you heard that? Yep. No one ever asked me. Well, let's go out and start asking. Ask every day. 365 people a year. Out of 365 people you invite, surely 3 of them will join. If not, you're inviting all wrong. And you need to find out how to invite better. But let's invite, because there's no reason that we should ever get to the point that someone says, no one has ever asked me. Invite someone every day. Invite them to a service project. Invite someone to a meaningful meeting. Because all of our meetings are meaningful. You ever walked away from a Lions meeting and you thought, why did I waste an hour? I'll never get that hour back. And worse than that, sometimes you walk away and you say, I'll never get that 2 hours back. But invite them to a meaningful meeting, invite them to a service project, and twice a year have your clubs begin to have membership growth events centered around some type of service project. Let people know that we need your help in order to accomplish this and solve this problem in our community. And if every club in the United States were to just grow by 1 member this year, every club just grow by 1 member, you know how many people we would impact? Over 500,000 lives would be touched because every club grew by 1 member. And that's not hard. Even Debbie Downer here will tell me that's not hard, is it? 1. Just cover your drops and grow by 1. We can do it if we just will. SML. Now, having worked at McDonald's, I thought it was small, medium, large. But it's not. Service, membership, and then legacy. You see, we've got to leave a legacy. We talked about those snow-covered mountains, and our legacy projects indicate to someone that the Lions have been there. The level 1 legacy means that we've left our footprints in the snow. We've refurbished a sign, we've left a park bench, we may have planted a tree, something small that says, yeah, the Lions pass this way. Level 1, and we're encouraging every club to do a level 1 project because everyone needs to know that the Lions have passed this way. But there's some clubs who have the resources and have the energy and the enthusiasm, they want to do a little bit more. And you see, they're not only going to leave their footprints in the snow, they're going to leave something there that says they lingered a while. They were here as they were hiking to save and rescue those people at the top of the mountains, and they left a park bench. They've cleaned up the park or refurbished the park. They provided some accessible equipment to someone. They may have equipped a part of a hospital or refurbished a waiting room at a vision center. They may have built a footbridge, something in that level 2 legacy that says the Lions not only come this way, they lingered to help as they were here. And then we have clubs that will also then do level 3 legacy projects. Projects that says the Lions come this way, they lingered a little longer, and they left a permanent marker that will benefit all of humanity for years to come. They built a library. They assisted in equipping a hospital. They developed a vocational training center for the blind. They developed that new park. They built a miracle field. And that's level 3. And so as we continue to move on toward the summit of these mountains so that we can see into that 2nd century of service, let's stop. Let's linger. And let's leave a legacy. I think we can do it. I really do. And once we reach that summit, the question becomes, what makes us viable and visible into that 2nd century of service? You see, the 1st century of service has been outstanding. It's all in the past. But we have such a bright future, and the thing that's going to set us apart from all other service organizations is our leadership. John Maxwell says leadership is influence. You can't lead people that you have no influence over. Leaders inspire and they bring out the best in other individuals. And I've seen that here with the leaders in your 2 districts this weekend. How that they've inspired, how they've shared ideas, how the people are ready to rally behind them. Leaders sell dreams. You see, Melvin Jones sold a dream in 1917. A dream that we were going to leave a lunch table and we were going to begin to serve our communities. A dream that has lasted for 100 years. 1925, Helen Keller sold us a dream when she asked us to become Knights of the Blind, and she dreamed that we would eradicate all treatable and preventable blindness. And for 90 years we've been working on that, and we've done a darn good job, I think. And you see, when we gathered in Chicago in 1917 for our international convention, and we're standing there, another global cause is going to be rolled out in front of us. And we've got to be prepared to seize that opportunity. And this global cause is one that we're going to be able to tackle in the probably 25 to 30 years. And we're going to be moving on. And the Lions will be forever known as the organization that led to the eradication of this global cause. How many of you would like to know what it is? You got to show up in Chicago. I've sworn to secrecy. Be there. Be there or be square. We've got to connect. All of these mountains that we've talked about, they're connected. Humanity stretches across all of them, silently crying at night for us, the Lions, to respond. And our clubs can no longer be individual islands, but our clubs must come together and connect in new ways. Our zone chairmen have to step up.